Hello witchlings, this is a new angle, I guess. Well, yeah, it is. Anyway, so if you're familiar with my channel, which I know some people are, I usually talk about crochet, but I don't know if you read the bio, but I've talked about I'd like to share my tarot and oracle opinions, as I like to read. And I thought, well, I've got the time and I have the privacy at the moment that I can do what I would like to call tarot and tea. So this is our first episode. It's actually nice not to be on camera but still talking to you, because obviously the highlights are going to be the decks and I want you to be able to see them nice and clearly. So today I am going to do a review on Oracle of the Witch. The reason why I want to do some tarot reviews is that I notice obviously a lot of people like to look at a tarot oracle deck review before they purchase said deck, so they can have a look at colors, people can talk about their experiences, blah 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 blah. But what I've noticed is most tarot YouTubers will get a deck and do like a walkthrough, flip through. So it's not really a review, right? It's not talking about the experiences, whether it resonated with them or not. It's very much for like first impressions kind of thing. And I want to do, at least most of the time, an actual review. So this will be me talking about the deck, basic, what the guidebook is, blah, 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 the cards, how many, but also talking about my experiences with the deck. So another tarot YouTuber I kind of really like is Racine from Our Moon 813, I think it is. She likes to do reviews, and she actually will talk about, she might do like a reveal, but then she'll also do a review on the cards and talk about her experiences with it. So I really appreciate that. And if you're interested in hearing my opinion, please stick around. Like I said, I love all forms of craft and this is just another one of them. So I guess I will talk about first things first, right? Because it's tarot and tea. Right now it is spring, and so it's too hot to drink hot tea basically. So I am drinking a fruit tea. I'll see if I can get the tag in my tumbler. It is by Red Seal. It is, thank you Patch, raspberry and strawberry. So it's really nice, it's fruity, it's refreshing. Got it with some ice, hydration, all that. Give me 1 second, I need to deal with the dog. Sorry about that. He likes to inform me when he likes to go out and get a drink, which he probably does need a drink, it's very hot today. So also, as kind of a little thing, I like to burn incense. I thought it'd be nice to create the atmosphere for this video. So I am burning, to go with this deck I guess, Gothic Rose. There. It's really nice, kind of nag champery rose incense. It's made by Kamani, Indian brand. I like their incenses, they smell really nice. They're high quality, or pretty good quality incense, and quite affordable. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's get started after 2 minutes of waffling. I guess the reason why I chose this deck, I guess whenever the seasonal shifts change, so like spring and autumn, I really get that witchy vibe, energy. I don't know what it is. I feel that energy when those two pivotal times of the year change. So I've been really excited and getting back into my craft. I've made a money bowl recently and a protection charm, and that has been really fun and exciting. So I love that I'm reconnecting with my path because I've been off it for a while. And I think it's interesting that this will be my first review. It's something I resonate with, but I'll talk about it when we get to that point, I guess. If I do come off as waffly, I have nothing written down. I've planned. It's just kind of, you know, what comes to mind. Okay, so again, we have The Oracle of the Witch, Reclaim Your Birthright by Flavia Katie Peters and Barbara Micheljohn-Free. I do apologize if I butchered the author's names, and it's illustrated by Mina Nordalanti. It is published by Rockpool Publishing. I believe it came out last year, so 2022. I picked it up this year from Dimmicks. So we'll open it up. So it's a really nice little tuck box. The insides are really beautiful, very occult, very witchy. I think got like a little sigil of Baphomet there. So very nice box. I like Rockpool decks. They're always just beautiful cards, beautiful when made, and they're an Aussie, my god, Aussie card publisher. So we have the guidebook. So it's just a nice little, it's quite chunky. That also comes with a card when you purchase it. It's just like, I think, meditation stuff or whatnot. So that's front. We have table of contents. When was this put? Yeah, 2002. There you go. That was right. So we have a contents page, which is the introduction, how to use the cards. There are, and I like this, the cards are numbered as well as named, so you can always find what you're looking for. And for the meanings, there are, oh god, focus, there we go, 44 cards. Yeah, I would say this deck's a little deceptive. Even though it's got Oracle of the Witch, it is very Wiccan inspired, I would say, because they do talk about the threefold law, and just some other things in it as well that hint towards a more Wiccan vibe, which is, I find interesting. Excuse me, sorry for the interruption, guys. Patch is an old man and he's very bossy. I love him, but he drives me crazy. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so this book, the deck is quite Wiccan. The artwork's lovely and not super Wiccan. It's very The Witch vibes, I guess, if you've seen that film, which I adore. But yeah, we'll talk about the spreads. So we've got introduction, 2-card spread. So it's got some spread ideas. I think there's a 1-card. Oh my god, is it? Yeah, 1-card, 2-card, 4-card spread, and there's a pentagram spread. So there's a nice chunky. What I do appreciate with this deck is it has incantations. So every time you get a meaning, you'll get an incantation, and then the witchery to kind of go with it. These are reversals in this deck as well. But yeah, so if you're kind of a newbie baby witch, this has got some good information, especially if you kind of are more interested in Wicca, right? I think it even talks about runes and witch script. So it's a nice book, but just be aware that it is very Wiccan influence, which I am not Wiccan. I follow more folkloric practice. I do believe in responsibility and accountability, you know, cause and effect, and be careful what you wish for kind of thing. But I don't follow that threefold, very basic karmic principles. That's just me. If you do, fine, but just be aware. Even though it's called Oracle of the Witch, it is very Wiccan. And Wiccans can be witches, but they also don't have to be witches as well. It's a religion, so take that what you will. So let's have a look at the cards. I think this takes me 6 minutes just to get this. Heads up though, I haven't used this in a spread. I've used it for daily draws, but I haven't used it as a spread. So again, the inside of the box, freaking beautiful, love it all. There's a Leviathan cross there. Again, not Wiccan, but anyway. But yeah, the inside's beautiful. It's black and white. I love the colors in this deck. It is so kind of, I am a sucker for red, white, and black decks. Black and white, red, white, and black. I even have the Murder of Crows, and I want to get the standard edition, but I even have, and again, I'm not a big RWS fan. I've kind of moved on from that, but I have and I will do a review this one day, this Murder of Crows tarot, and it's gorgeous. It's red, white and black. It's like this limited edition one. So beautiful. So I am a sucker for, let me get them in frame, that really clean color. I think I don't like loud and garish decks. If they're too colorful, too many things happening, it's so overwhelming to read. And that might be good for like a meditative experience where you can dig through and pick through the imagery. But if you want to do, like, if you're reading for a client, you want it quick, right? Snap, snap, snap. So that's just my opinion. And these do have some really nice simple images. So these are the backs. They are reversible. I love the backs. Gorgeous. It is gilded in a shiny red gilding, which is nice. You know, I would have been happy with just like what I did with my Murder of Crows personally. But let's have a look at the cards. So we have borders, but I really like the artist's style, the illustrator, which I love illustration. It's my favorite type of art. Again, very kind of minimalistic, so there's a lot of details, but it's not overwhelming and not saturated. Every card's got a red background. It's all red, white and black, every one of them. So we've got card 1, Diana, wisdom. So again, you can clearly see that symbolism of you know, she's got a bow and arrow, the moon, her dog companions, a deer, like it's Diana. Then we have Hecate, so it's very Grecian influenced Aradia, feminist kind of vibe to this deck. So we've got Hecate, underworld. Again, she's beautiful. We have Aradia, magic. So I don't know if I'll go through all the cards, but I'll try and go through ones that I, you know, find interesting. So we have like, you know, the witch Jesus essentially, and some sigils there. And then we have oracle knowledge. So there are different ages depicted in this deck, which is really nice. There are a couple of cards depicting masculine figures, but not much. It's very feminine deck. I love that this feels like, to me, I think it's meant to be a scrying bowl, but it looks like a drum, which Sami people use to, you know, to do divination. So that's really cool. We have midwife, so we've got some archetypes right here. Again, I get this older, wise woman, cunning folk vibe from her. But it's really clear, concise imagery. And having these keywords really help you to bounce off it intuitively. So I will get to the point where I get to certain cards. So spell casting manifestation, that's a really cool looking card. High priestess. So again, so this is like the first little hint that is a Wiccan deck, right? Because we have the high priest and high priestess in Wiccan covens. But then you've got, like, again, this is the one issue I kind of have. Why I love the imagery. You know, it feels very tradecrafty to me. Yeah, we have this you know, horn figure in, you know, a shadow, which is kind of how I see the witch father or the devil in my craft, is this shadowy figure, right? He's not clear, he's not clarity. We do have familiar spirits. So again, it's kind of got these, like, it wants to be a tradecraft vibe or just generic witchcraft vibe, but then as the guidebook and some of the cards have that Wiccan feel to it. This one I'm not a big one on crystals, and that's just because I don't use crystals in my practice, very rarely. Hagstone, that's a stone I can get to behind. I love this card. This witch reminds me of Granny Weatherwax from Terry Pratchett, and I love Granny Weatherwax. One of my favorite sayings that she says, and I think he just captures witches perfectly, in that we don't do good, or we don't do nice, we do what's right. So that's from Weird Sisters. We've got candle magic, intention, sigil. Excuse me, I'm just gonna have a sip of tea. It's very hot. So we have craft to have creativity. I love this image. It gives me Odin vibes, as you can tell. And there's one of the few cards depicting a male figure. Not magic binding, so we have a witch's ladder here, which is really cool. This one, I know, I also feel like if you're not Wiccan, or if it just doesn't resonate with you in the guidebook, you can definitely bounce off your own meanings. Because I think that this one had a totally different meaning to how I would interpret this card. For me, binding is you know, controlling something hard, tying something down, trying to stop something. But it can also be like with not magic, right? You could be wanting to build power to draw something towards you as well. So, you know, depending on the shadow side, can have different meanings. But I don't think I agreed with the book. It just didn't register with me. Forager here. So here's the other, excuse me, 3 cards: Maiden, Mother, and Crone. They're beautiful, don't get me wrong, but again, it's that threefold goddess. And you know, we have the Witch Queen or Witch Mother, and she's a different kind of figure. She definitely embodies more of a crone energy. So yeah, it is what it is. Elemental magic. Let's see, old ones, we've got kind of like honoring ancestors and, you know, the mighty dead. Weather magic, which is very common in old folk magic. Cures and remedies. So I think this is also like a deck that's kind of anti-cursing people. Kitchen recipes. So this is one of the few cards. There's about 3 or 4 that I've noted. This is pentagram, right? Talisman, which is usually protection or active magic or something, right? Usually protective, or trying to invert some virtue. Right. Where's the pentagram? Right. This is one card I have an issue with. So we've got Mjolnir. We got the Eye of Horus. Mjolnir is very prominent, and even, you know, he looks like a Viking, stereotypical, you know, modern day bro, true heathen. He has a tiny little pentacle right here. Why would you choose this as the image for the pentagram? Why not just show a pentagram? You know what I mean? Anyway. Mirror magic, scrying, which is runes. This is one of the cards I was going to say I love. Because it's very reminiscent of Odin and him hanging from the world tree. I just love it. We have also a compass here. What I would interpret as compass. Grimoire. So again, this is nothing. So it wouldn't be called a grimoire in Wicca. It would be a book of shadows. So it's like it's trying outwardly to appear more generic witchcraft, tradecraft, folkloric witchcraft, but then the guidebook's very Wiccan. Puppets, moot, which is again, this was interesting because I've always, I mean, the word's not wrong, I like that actual choice of words, but it's definitely more tied to heathenry than witchcraft. You know, ancient heathens used to have moots, gatherings, things, right, literally called the thing, to discuss things. So we've got the Sabbath, so this is another one that's hinting, right, you got the Wiccan Wheel of the Year, Coven. Actually, I drew the what was it, the other, this is something I found, why I love the deck and why I love the images. I found it very, very hard to work with this deck. Like drawing this card, right, it spoke to about, you know, not being isolated and wanting to find other people like-minded, which is something, it's like, okay, sure, that would be nice, but it was very specific in its meaning of finding like-minded individuals to magic with. It's like, what if I don't want that? Gathering a mood could be family, friends, sisterhoods. You know, you can bounce off a lot of it interpretively, but the guidebook was it's quite specific in its meanings, and that doesn't always apply. Like, again, what if you're not a witch and you're just interested in a, you know, witchy aesthetic, and you get this deck? Will that resonate with you? I mean, you can definitely do the whole go out and hang out with friends, right? Friends are usually like-minded in at least some things. So this deck I found, it was very challenging, and I think very recently, as in today, I figured this out. So I'll just flip through the rest of the cards while I talk about my experiences with the deck, and that was kind of like a little introduction. So I have found, when I first started working with this deck, that the cards were very rarely resonating with me. And I was like, okay, this is kind of a shame. This is a beautiful deck. I don't want to have to regift it. I'm going to keep trying. And it was just kind of hit, miss. I do it with my daily draws. And when I usually do a daily draw, I read either my Marseille deck or a playing card deck. And then I use an Oracle deck maybe as a clarifier. And I have my go-to clarifier decks, but obviously with a new deck, you want to work with it. And it was just kind of missing the mark every time. None of the messages resonated. And so okay, maybe I have to do what the guidebook says, because normally when I just start working it out. I don't do cleansing. I feel like the best thing to do is start shuffling, build that connection. It's your tool. The image is right for you to intuitively bounce off of. It is a deck of cards. It's paper. The intention is in the artwork and you as the reader. So if you want, and again, I think if you have like a whole system of cleansing and setting up for readings and ritual and all this stuff to do a reading, great. As a folkloric practitioner, I just want to be able to grab my deck and go with my morning coffee. But I have found, I think I figured this out. So I followed the the I guess recommendation of like cleansing the deck. So it was the full moon the other night, so I charged it under the full moon, and then I tried reading it the day after. Nothing. It was meh. This one, yes, witch hunts, persecution. Not completely accurate, but I do actually like that card. I'll probably can feel persecuted. But anyway, back to the story. Tangents. So I found that didn't work, and then today I thought, right, what if I read the cards how they tell you to set up a reading, which is basically cleanse yourself, like cleanse the space, your space, reading space, preferably your altar, right? Then it's cleanse yourself, cleanse the area, cleanse yourself, come back again, kind of put on a divinatory incense or some kind of fumigation, and do it at a reading table. And I did that today, and I actually drew a card that resonated. Its message resonated with me. So I'm going to say, from my experience, this deck likes to kind of have a ritual set up. Here's the horn god. He looks very much like the devil, in my opinion. But yeah, we have to have, again, this sort of setup to read an oracle card. And I find, which is beautiful sometimes, but again, sometimes you just want to sit at your kitchen table, or in my case, on my bed, and pull a couple of cards and just kind of meditate and think about and reflect for the day ahead, right? You don't need to let that is a ritual in itself, and this is very much high maintenance. So I drew this card today, and I found that really that was quite powerful to go with the cards I have drawn. So I really liked that. But yeah, it is, I would say, very high maintenance. It does want some level of ritualistic practice to use it. I don't think it doesn't want to be used as a clarifier either. So this is the last card. But yeah, it doesn't want to be used as a clarifier, not in my opinion. If the times I try to use it as a clarifier, it again, it doesn't sync, doesn't connect. So it's not a clarifying deck, in my opinion. Where other decks like, what have I got? Earthbound Oracle. That's a good one. Because it's so intuitive, And again, like that, sometimes if you're not in the right headspace, it's not going to resonate either, and you can be a bit confused, or it might come clearer later kind of thing. But this deck does not like being a clarifier. I think it wants to be the deck, the center of attention. You come to it with a question, it will guide you. I think it definitely was being incorporated in weekend practice. That being said, I haven't done a spread with this deck because I generally don't use oracles in spreads. I might do it in the future and see and update you on that. But generally, I like to do them for daily draws on one pool. But I think because of its attitude, it wants to be read, I think, in a more, spread-like, I would say. But my experience is definitely you have to have a space dedicated. And when I mean, or make a space, burn some incense, cleanse yourself before you do a reading. It's kind of a high maintenance girl, which, feels very strange considering the imagery is very, roots and stones and bones kind of vibe, but it's high maintenance. It's more of a priestess than a witch. But again, that could be the oracle vibe coming from it as well. So I don't know. But yeah, I think this video is close to 30 minutes. I'm not going to do the massive deep dives that Kelly does from Truth and Story. I don't feel like doing that, but I do want to share my opinions, and I hope you find this insightful. Or if you've been seeing the fence and deciding whether this deck is for you, it's kind of the closest thing I've got to the Trad Witch deck by Keldon, which sadly they're not printing, I don't think, anymore. So I will have an empty void in my heart for that deck. But yeah, so I hope this gives some clarity. I hope it gives you some idea of what it is like to work for this deck, at least from my experience, my opinion. And I think we still need a lot of growing to do before it's proper relationship. I think we can revisit that later on. I feel like this would be a perfect deck for this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere. I actually do want to get, what was her name? Lorianne. But it's was it the Witch's Sabbath Oracles? Or she's got Samhain, Yule, Beltane, and Imbolc, and Mabon. So that's 5 now, I think. But I do want at least 4 of those decks to kind of cover the seasons. But she hasn't got a summer one yet, which is a shame. Once she gets the summer one, then I'll have my 4 seasons. And I would like, I might do a video about my current opinion or thoughts on tarot and oracle, and now how it's shifted, how it's changed over the years. And I am appreciating, I think, kind of a more simplistic attitude, but that will be a different video. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helped. I hope I didn't waffle too much. I hope that I made sense. If I didn't, please let me know. I'm pretty sure I'm neurodivergent and my brain thinks faster than my mouth can talk. But I hope you enjoyed this. Please engage. Have you got this deck? Do you like working this deck? Share your thoughts with me. I would like to see them. Other than that, enjoy your spring or autumn. Embrace this time of year. It is really a magical time. So enjoy and take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Love your furry, scaly, feathered friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.